bright idea either. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about that or ask me about it. Definitely not a bright idea, especially when China and them start putting the boats over there in that water close by too.
Of these issues right here on RT America. Let's get started.
No, hey, just a little inside joke. No news is good news.
Right. The special envoy from the Biden administration is warning the United States and her allies they must begin preparing for a fully nuclear program in Iran.
Why is that? Let's go to that. This is why right here. This is why right here. This book of Jeremiah chapter 50. Let's see. I'm gonna start out with this. This chapter got a whole bunch of good stuff in it too that I don't want to go into, but I don't want to get to the main points. I'm trying to stretch this video out too much longer. Alright. In verse 6 it says, my people have been lost sheep because they still to this day a lot of people don't know who they are, where they come from, what's their real nationality, calling themselves all type of other bywords and proverbs instead of actually going back to the root of their history. And I said their shepherds have caused them to go astray. You got these people that set up, paid off. They got 501c3 charters and all type of other nonsense. They really won't give you the actual information because they've been sold out and they got that bag. They got that Judas bag. So they're not gonna really tell you what's real. And then when you got people that actually really is telling you what's real, they don't want to hear it anyway. So they just run around lost. It says they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. It says all that found them have devoured them. The people been devoured, man. Still being devoured. Just because niggas get a little extra money and whatever, you still up under Esau. Look how rich you get. You still gotta get that passport and that social security card from Esau. And it says, and the adversary said, we offend not because they have sinned against the Lord. And the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers, remove out of the midst of Babylon and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans and be as the he-goats before the flocks. The Lord will raise and cause them to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And I was just speaking about that north country. It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. Them arrows is talking about this in that display.
The Biden administration has been in talks to bring back the 2015 nuclear deal, which was suspended underneath the Trump administration. With the administration prepared to remove all of the sanctions by the Trump administration, which were inconsistent with the nuclear deal. However, the Iranians have refused to have direct communication or even contact with the Biden White House. This is U.S. Special Envoy Rob Malley is meeting with other Arab countries to discuss options should nuclear negotiations fail.
Now let's go into what this word really means. Did you see how people that play games and be like, it's talking about arrows, born arrows? No, the fuck it's not. Let's go to this real quick. Okay, arrow. No, let me see. See, now I search for it now when I ain't slept. This is crazy, but it's all good. Let me try it one more time. browser up. See if it'll do it. Give me 1 minute. So I can just get this verification sake. Now I don't search for this definition numerous times and it never did this. But it's all good though, because it's still coming to pass either way it goes. Let's see if we can try to find it one more time. Well, I'm gonna try it on another browser. Alright, here we go. Broken arrows. Now I said there have been 32 nuclear weapon accidents known as broken arrows. Well, hold up, let's go back to this real quick. What does it say right here? It says, for lo I will raise, back in Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9, it says, lo, I will raise a cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations, which you've been seeing in the news, China, Russia, Iran, they primarily talking about Tehran. It says, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they should set themselves in array against her. From thence shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. Cause see, it's just gonna be called arrows in this case, because they're not missing. They got them. They on deck, and they getting more. And it says, let me go into this definition even more. This was defined, this term was created back in the 1950s, but it's crazy because it was already in the scriptures. It just was written out for certain men to be able to decipher or discern. The average person read this, like I said, people see this and like, what is it talking about, bow and arrow? They're going to get some bow and arrows and shoot them over there. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about these. I said, since 1950, there have been 32 nuclear weapon accidents known as broken arrows. A broken arrow is defined as an unexpected event involving nuclear weapons that result in accidental launching. And they actually had scenarios like this too. Chariots or so-called UFOs fly over a silo and set that shit off and restart it when they get down to zero just to fuck with Esau, because they're not in real control like they try to push out to the world. They just cause people to be in fear. So it's easy to control somebody that fear you. Now it says accidental launching, firing, detonating, theft, or loss of the weapon. To date, 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and never recovered. And they just found one recently in Carolina somewhere. They said a plane dropped it and it didn't detonate or some shit like that. And they got the whole list. You can go through it. I ain't gonna go through it. I can't want to hold this article up. They got the whole archive of it. Let me see. We go back. I see, this is stuff Esau don't want you to know. This is stuff they pay these fake ass leaders off and not tell you about or inform you about. Just keep you docile and let you know everything gonna be all good. It's just all love. Love everywhere. Love under your fingertips. That's how they try to paint it, man. Well, meanwhile, you got these countries though getting these arrows together. Now let me just play.
To discuss this latest trend, we bring in counterterrorism expert Drew Berkowitz. Drew, thank you so much for joining me on this.
Absolutely, Scotty. Good to see you again.
Okay, so why I am a little bit concerned about this, and I want to see if you join me in this. You know, prior to now, the Biden administration actually said, no, we're going to be able to bring the nuclear deal back in with Iran. But now they're actually saying Iran will possibly be fully nuclear. Does it concern you in this switch?
Yeah, you saw. He like, hell yeah.
In what the administration is saying?
Absolutely. I think it should concern everybody. And it's not highly unpredictable that it went this way.
But look, I give you a little test survey thing to go do. Go ask 50 people, do they know about this shit? And watch what they say.
Because of the weakness that this administration's put forward and how Iran has always played the game. But look, it's concerning because you've got the #1 state sponsor of terror in the entire world.
Just go ask. I'll give you a question. Just be like, look, do you know what Tehran and the U.S. got going on back and forth? Just go ask them just on some random shit.
Well, this is documented. It's not my opinion or anyone else's. It's just the truth. Who it looks like they're going to have the ability to do this, which that in and of itself is obviously a bad thing. It brings instability to the region. But you've got Israel, who likely would push back and immediately want to do something militarily that would cause mayhem everywhere. And then you've got...
Oh, hold on. What that's going to cause? Let's go to this preset real quick. Let's go to this real quick. That's what this going to cause. In Jeremiah chapter 50. Verse 45, it says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord they have taken against Babylon and his purposes that he have proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So when it actually do reach that point, let me run it back one time so you can hear it. When it actually reach that point, see, Esau's not stupid. They're not going to just go in there and go full throttle and just go at it with these Persians, because they know how they get out. They really don't give a fuck. They'll take themselves out and them with them. They gonna wait for them Amalekites over there to do something. Then they gonna have to defend those Amalekites. That's what this precept talking about right here. It says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their dwelling place desolate with them. And they try to play it in the media like, oh, we ain't dealing with them like that on the military level or whatever. That's bullshit, because they send weaponry over there and billions of dollars each month. So you people be wondering where your stimulus money going at. Hey, ask them Amalekites over there.
You've got Israel, who likely would push back and immediately want to do something militarily that would cause mayhem everywhere. And then you've got Saudi Arabia, who's trying to get stuff there. The whole game changes drastically if this happens.
Yeah, it definitely do, man. Esau been running around fucking shit up. Now everybody else getting the same stuff, but they got even playing field. But it's, like I said, evil playing field too, because this some serious shit, man. Because the people that actually gonna have to pay for it is the citizens, the top level, the elites. They gonna be in their little bunkers, their war rooms, space stations, space hotels, wherever other little hiding spots they got. And then the elect getting delivered out of this too. So if you ain't part of the elect, and you damn sure ain't in the ruling class elite, you ain't gonna make it when this shit go down.
Well, and that's the thing. The Biden administration is actually meeting with other Arab countries. But what are the other options? If Iran goes nuclear, what are those options? And do you think that President Biden has a plan B even in the works?
I don't know that Biden has too many plans anywhere. To think he has...
Man, Sloppy Joe ain't got no plans, but the elites got the plans though.
As a plan B is probably not accurate. But look, I mean, your options are that you lead in a peace through strength model, you keep these sanctions on, you keep the pressure there, and you regain the leverage, something that we have given up under this administration. Or you've got to go to a model where you're involved with allies and partners and increasing intelligence operations and, God forbid, possibly military operations to push this threat down.
Well, that's the thing. Iranians and those that are, that might sympathize with them say, you know what, these actual, what America has done to now isn't working. These sorts of limitations that you're putting on isn't working. You've got to try something else. So is it better this idea that, or does Iran think that they have the upper hand in regards to negotiations, and they're actually playing hardball to get everything they wish at this point?
Oh, they absolutely are, and everyone is. Look, the Taliban's got the leverage on. There's groups that never in a million years thought that they'd have the upper hand and the leverage in a conversation with the United States of America, but right now they very much do, and they know because they've seen how this, Biden and his people worked before 8 years ago. I saw it firsthand working under Obama when I was still in the intel community working counterterrorism operations overseas. These people know what they can get away with, and that even if a red line is drawn, that they can pass it and there'll be no consequences. So they're going to push. They have the leverage. We do not, and it's a sad and terrifying spot to be, but it's also something that we could easily fix.
Well, you say it's easy to fix, and it's a sad and terrible spot that it could be. Okay, what do we need to do, and do you actually feel like this administration would do that?
Hey, that shit ain't going. I ain't gonna let the rest of this video play. We saw in La La Land right now. They already realized this was about to come to fruition right here. It was mentioned in the book of Jeremiah. It was mentioned in the book of Revelation. It was mentioned in the book of Ezekiel. It was mentioned in the book of Isaiah. All these different books, Lamentation, Mourning, and Woe. And this was coming to pass. Let me go to a few more precepts now in this. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 27. It says, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein." Them building these damn nukes actually was an actual pit. And they thought they were just going to create that shit and when nobody else going to get it. Now, everybody getting it. You know, it says, "And he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon them." So they've been going around the world doing all this nonsense. Just like when people in your everyday life, you do something, it come back to you. Do it or bad, it's gonna come back to you. May not be that day, may not be that week, may not be that month, may not be that year, but it's gonna come back to Esau just been skating around doing a little bullshit and it ain't really just come back to them right away. So they feel like, oh shit, we ain't got judged for it, so we're just gonna keep doing it. Now it's coming back to them though. Let me see, this is another one I want to do too. The book of Psalms, chapter. Yeah, book of Psalms, chapter 7. We'll just read these few verses and I'll get one more precept in. So just back up what I was saying prior to this. In verse 14 it says, oh, hold on, let me go back. I wasn't even gonna get this verse, but it just stood out to me. In verse 11 it says, Yahweh judges the righteous and it says, Yahweh judges the righteous and God is angry with the wicked every day. So even though Esau been running around doing all this stuff, he got a close eye on them, watching everything they're doing, even when they go up to the ISS space station. That's why them ships be flying by, because they watching what they're doing. Now it says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword, he have bent his bow and made it ready. He also prepared for him the instruments of death. What are those instruments? And I wasn't even going to get this, but I'm going to go ahead and get it, since I came across this. book of Isaiah, chapter 54 and verse 16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith." So the Most High created those certain scientists to do what? So they blow up the coals in the fire, and they bring forth an instrument for his work, not for their work. They ain't created this shit just to go build no nuclear rockets to go fly to the moon and Mars and all that. They created this instrument to wipe each other out. They just thought it was something else. And I said, and I created the waster to destroy. Now going back to the book of Psalms, chapter 7, in verse 13, it said, he hath also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit, and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head. So the same thing they built, that shit gonna come right back on him. I said that his violent dealing should come down upon his own plate. And that's just judgment. That's righteous. Just like you go to court, you're either right or you're wrong. You're either gonna pay for something you did, or you're gonna get off because you ain't wrong. Now verse 17 is how we praise the Lord according to his righteousness. And we'll sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh, the Most High. And that's the spirit that the men gonna be in. Seeing that, looking up, if we don't see it, those who endure to that moment, actual moment. Some people are not gonna actually make it, but when that moment comes, go to this real quick. Now end this off. Book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 27. But I'm going to start at verse 26. It says, "And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds." The reason why he got to send them angels, because we ain't got no ships. We ain't got no bunkers. Those who may have little bunkers or whatever, but that's not smart to be in them anyway. You go up on the ground and some 10 million degrees drop on top of that shit, you gonna get cooked like some damn baked fish. So you gotta get delivered from this. It says, "And then shall he send his angels, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven." And that's what's gonna happen. Hey, I got faith in that, and I know it's other Akim. They have faith in that as well too. So just stay alert, man. Pay attention to what's really going on. Don't get distracted, caught up in other little nonsense, because it's easy to get distracted. I don't want to rush out. This video was edifying. Until the next one, call all y'all about Shalom to the left.